Evening, Betty. Evening, Val. Evening, Sandra. Well, good evening. Welcome to the Prayer Commander tonight. And we have friends on tonight, as you can see. And of course, as this is YouTube, it will go into our library for future reference. So that's good, isn't it? Hallelujah. This particular broadcast came about in a rather strange way. Last Sunday morning, the service leader was leading the pre-service prayers. And he told this story. He was leading prayers somewhere else, and there was a mother and a young boy, 8, 9, 10, with her in the prayers. And he was leading the prayers and everything, and the boy turned to his mother and said, "I want to be a prayer commander." And the service leader heard this and picked it up. And I thought it was a wonderful thing for a young boy to want to be a prayer commander, not a prayer, everydayer. He wanted to go to the higher level or deeper level of prayer. And being a young boy, that was very moving, I thought, for him. And I've been thinking about that this week. What is a prayer commander? And I think that it's useful for us that pray in this mission to consider what a prayer commander is. What's not a prayer every day, but what do we need to be more frontline, more warrior? And I came up with 5 suggestions. Here's the first one. A prayer commander is disciplined. That lovely story from Jesus when the man comes and says, "Come and heal my son or my servant." And Jesus says, "I will come." And the man says, "No, you only have to speak the word, because I myself am a man under authority with soldiers under me. I tell this one, go, and he goes. That one, come, and he comes." And it struck me that a prayer commander must be extremely disciplined in his or her life, extremely disciplined in our lives, both in prayer and in every level. We have to have the discipline of the eyes, what we look at, the ears, what we listen to, and the things we do, the things we get involved in. There are some things that a prayer commander can't get involved in. A soldier going down to battle can't go to the pub every night and get drunk. He has to keep himself fit and ready for the challenge. That a prayer commander is a disciplined soldier. And I think that is the beginning. I don't know what groovy music you got. It must be behind one of these slides. I think that a disciplined, a prayer commander must be disciplined. Absolutely disciplined at every level. And that's what goes into the eyes, what goes into the ears, what happens in the mind, what we do, where we go, where we're seen, what we read, what we listen to, what we watch. Everything in our lives should be to strengthen our discipline as prayer commanders. And there's a lot of stuff that really we shouldn't be involved in if we're going to be prayer commanders. There's things, places we shouldn't be seen, and things we shouldn't be thinking about or watching or involved in. We have to maintain our discipline as Christian men and women. And I think we've reached an age where discipline has gone out of favour, hasn't it? That you can do what you like as long as you feel like doing it. That's not how a prayer commander functions. We are disciplined men and women. We are disciplining our bodies, our minds, our spirits, so that we are ready to hear from the commander and do what he says. Unpopular discipline, but very, very important. And secondly, a prayer commander is a training person. A training person. We don't become prayer commanders just because we feel like it. If you were a soldier, if you were one day you went down to the barracks, picked up a rifle and said, "I'm a soldier now." Well, in the First World War, the American soldiers that came over were totally inexperienced in trench warfare, and they were killed by their dozens because of their inexperience. And we don't become prayer commanders just because we feel like it. We have to have certain things built into us. And here are three I think we should be thinking about. We give all, we bear all, and we do all. That's our training. Hannah gave her all to her prayer. She poured out her soul to the Lord. Jesus bore all in Gethsemane, the accusations of the enemy and the sins of the world weighed down upon him. And Gideon did all. He did what he was told, ridiculous though it seemed, right to the end. And I think these three people give us an idea of what our training should bring us to. That we're able to give all, bear all, and do all. Good, isn't it? Don't you think? So simple, isn't it? We have to be disciplined if we're going to pray. And I keep on saying the same thing. What we look at, what we listen to, what gets in here, what we read, what we watch on the television, the violence, the obscenities, the blasphemies. Are we going to sit and let those go in through the eyes and the ears? Or are we going to walk away? Because we're disciplined soldiers. And disciplined in our praying, our Bible reading, our attendance at church, all these things undergird the prayer commander. If we don't do these things, you can't be a prayer commander. You can be a prayer whatever, but you're never going to be a serious warrior in prayer unless you're disciplined. And that discipline has to go on all through your life. The soldiers keep training. Even when they're able, they keep training to keep their discipline sharp. And we have to be disciplined. We also have to be trained to give all, to bear all, to do all, to give all in prayer, all our to bear all, to endure the pressure of the enemy. I remember once reading about a commander of a vessel, a warship, and he was using up vast amounts of ammunition, more than others. And of course he got called in because he was told, look, we can't afford to keep on, you should be a bit more cautious. And he didn't know what to say. And then his commanding officer said to him, don't worry, it is your duty to shoot and be shot at. And that can only come with training, to be able to shoot and be shot at. We have to be trained to be prayer commanders, to give all, to bear all, and to do all. If we can't do those three, we can't be a prayer commander. We can't grow to be a prayer warrior, to be strong. This is what we're expected to do. To give all, to bear all, and to do all. That's my training. I've been trained over the decades by the Lord to give all of my emotion, all of my heart, like Hannah did. I bear all. I am paid to shoot and be shot at. The enemy will weigh down upon me, and I am expected to stand that pressure. And I am expected to do all I'm told to do, without endless discussion about what that might entail. And honestly, the 21st century church just bores me, because when God asks for something, it always becomes a discussion. And this is our King. And if he asks me to do as a prayer commander, I will do it. I do all. I'm very keen on that. I'm very keen on doing what I'm told by the King and living with the consequences if I got it wrong. Most people go the other way. They don't do anything for the King because they're scared of the consequences. I don't. I just do. I do. And that's my training. And the Lord has trained me into that. Sorry, do you have an old slide of you? I never really know. Sorry, I must have to check that one. Give all, bear all, do. Now, let me ask you, is that you? Are you willing to give all in prayer? Are you willing to bear all in prayer? And are you willing to do all when you get commanded in prayer? This is the prayer commandment. This is the standard that's expected of us. Going to prayer commanders. It's very simple, isn't it? There's nothing complicated about this. It's not often put together in one place. Now, 3, we are soldiers of the cross. And therefore, we can expect it to be hard and difficult. Have you got music again there? You're getting nice music in the background there. Let's take that out. I am a soldier of the cross. And that's the heart of the prayer warrior. I am going to the cross. I am kneeling at the cross. I am at the cross. And as the apostle said, I have been crucified with Christ, and I no longer live, but Christ lives in me. That's what I am. I am disciplined. I am trained to be a soldier of the cross. Now, the thing is this, and it's particularly in Ghana here all the time, is people don't want that. They want to be soldiers of the victory, soldiers of the possessions, soldiers of being successful, soldiers of being seen, to be important. But the prayer commander is a soldier of the cross. We are marching to the cross. We are kneeling at the cross. We are carrying the cross on our shoulders all the time. The prayer commander is not interested in possessions. He's not interested in money. He's not interested in things or position. He is only interested in being a soldier of the cross. And that is hard. That entails lots of hardship. I suppose my motivational vision for my work here was this. I was standing, you've heard it before maybe, I was standing at a crossroads. And down the crossroads at the distance I could see the Lord standing by his cross. And the Lord said, well, I want you to come. But I couldn't, because on the road all the way were these thorns. And so I just stood there. Then I heard a child crying, and I looked down, and there was the child Ghana, bleeding and broken and in desperate need. And the Lord said, bring the child to me. I said, but I can't bring it to you. Look at the path. I said, okay, then you just have to do it. And so I walked the path of thorns all the way to the cross. And I've been doing that for 30 years. And it was extremely hard, uncomfortable. When I got to the cross, I was pretty well cut up by the thorns. And I handed the Lord the child Ghana. And he said, oh, no. It doesn't work like that. You carry on carrying the child, and you carry on walking on the thorns, because you're a soldier of the cross. That's what it means. It means to pray within that understanding, within that environment, that this is going to be hard and tough and going to cost me a lot. And the price will go up and up and up and up. It will never go down and down and down and down. You think you've reached a point, and the Lord just says, well, carry on. Soldiers of the cross. Disciplined, trained, and soldiers of the cross. That for me probably is the heart of it. This is probably the heart of it for me. I pray in the cross, through the cross, under the cross. And an interesting story of St. Gemma, Catholic nun of 1900s, something like that, around about the 1800s. She was walking through the refectory in the convent where she lived, and there on the wall was a cross. And in a visionary experience, she immediately found herself hanging on that cross with all its pain and suffering. And the Lord said to her, this is where you pray. And I think she would say she was a soldier of the cross. That's what we've got to do. If we're going to be prayer commanders, disciplined, trained, and soldiers of the cross. And it's very tough, and we don't have many. We don't have many prayer commanders because we're lazy. We don't like discipline. We're in our 21st century. Let's not discipline anybody. Everyone do what they like. And this is the thing, especially in the church. No one seems to see the need to be trained to do anything. You can all do everything. You can just, you're able to do anything. Of course you can. You can preach, you can teach, you can lead counselling sessions, you can lead home. Everybody thinks they can do everything without the necessary training that goes with it. It doesn't work that way, but that's what many people think. Because training is hard work. And then you get the discipline, you get the training, and what do you find? What do you find? What's your reward? This is your reward. And many people don't want it. They just don't want it. Oh, they want comfort and ease and everything, and rest, and they want acknowledgement and adulation and all those things. Well, you just go and seek those, but please don't join the army of prayer commanders, because we're not going that way. We're going the other way. Now, you see, I'm not that well tonight, by the way, so I'm sorry I'm not exactly fizzing, but that makes no difference. The power is in the teaching from the Word, not from me. But it's a lovely picture that's emerging little by little as we think about it. I want to be a prayer commander. I don't want to be a prayer corporal or private. I want to be a commander. I want the Lord to say, here's my servant Michael. He is a serious praying member of my community. If I want that, then I've got to be disciplined. And and I don't like it. I like being lazy. Suit me fine. But that's no good for a prayer commander. We have to be disciplined. And then I have to be trained. In the Christian faith, if you want it, every day is a school day. Every day you learn new things. Every day the Lord gives opportunity for you to train and equip and grow. He gives you this experience and that experience. And it slowly builds up as your training continues. And I think that training in prayer commander is a lifetime occupation. And I don't think you can ever say you've arrived, but you can get the principles pretty clear. That you are a disciplined, trained soldier of the cross. Not difficult, is it? It isn't difficult. That's the thing. The Lord doesn't make things difficult for us. He would never do that. But it grates against the human spirit, doesn't it, that wants success, comfort, achievement, loads of money, big car, big house, healthy family, everybody fine, da-di-da-di-da. Well, that doesn't exist in the kingdom. We are soldiers of the cross. And one more, I don't see music here, I'll make sure it isn't. If there is, I'll take it out. There we go, whatever it is. Our weapons are these: determination and endurance. Now, there are many other weapons, but I've chosen these two tonight from Acts chapter 12. Determination and endurance. You see, the thing is, what we say, they're not sexy things, are they? They're not exciting. A determination, endurance, that's nothing. I want flashbang wallop. I want to be out of this, that and the other. No, flashbang wallop gets you nowhere except blown up. The wise commander keeps his troops well hidden and maneuvers them around to achieve his objective. Now, in the Acts of the Apostles, chapter 12, the Jewish people have decided to destroy the church. So they arrest James, who is the leader, and kill him, and nobody complains. So we'll carry on. We'll do the same with Peter. So they got him arrested, and he was in prison, and the next day he was going to be executed. And what we read in the scriptures is that the church was earnestly praying to God for him. They were determined to set him free, and they were going to pray on until it was done. They were determined to set him free, and they were going to pray on until it was done. Now, those two characteristics belong to the prayer commander, but I'm afraid they don't belong to the church. Most Christians give up like that. The enemy goes boo and they give up. It astonishes me how quickly God's people give up, or churches give up. But the prayer commander knows he must endure, and he knows he must have a determination in that endurance. Those two things are welded together in his or her spirit. We will endure, and we are determined to win. Now, in our mission here, this is effectively our mission statement. We came here, we had nothing. I couldn't afford one plot of land, but now we have dozens of plots of land. I couldn't do anything, but I had a vision, and we just dug in. Paul and Mary and I and others dug in, and I said, we are going to do this. And then when we built the big school, which is now, you can see tomorrow where we're getting up to there, 9 o'clock, by the way, tomorrow. We had long periods of nothing happening, and people told me God was cursing me. This is what we get round here, this kind of Stone Age attitudes. God was cursing me. I went back to those people, now we're about to put the roof on, and I said, what was it you said to me? See, because I'm determined, along with Paul and Mary, we're going to finish this school. There is no question, there is no discussion. We will endure until we do. If it takes 100 years, we're still going to do it. It's going to happen. That's the prayer commander in me. I am determined, and I will endure until I see what I get. And I think that the prayer commander's character runs contrary to much of what we get in the Western church. That Discipline is out of favour. Training is, we don't need training in spiritual things, do you? Don't you? And the cross, well, it's very nice, but we're resurrection people, aren't we? So we don't need to worry about that. And we can just go dancing around and rejoicing and claim the victory. Which victory would that be in the UK? And what's lacking in the church is the prayer commanders, who will not give up, who will endure. And often those, I've checked the time, those people are, if I may, I don't want to be rude, elderly ladies. That's where I find the prayer commanders. The revival in the Hebrides came about because two women, 81 and 83 or thereabouts, one of them blind, just said, the church was in such a sad state, they just said, we're not having this. We're going to pray until God revives. And they did. And he did. And see, two elderly ladies, one of which was 81 and one of which was blind. Ridiculous. Utterly ridiculous. Oh, let's go and hear, oh, so-and-so, his great ministry of intercession. Let's buy his book and see his video and DVD, but we're not going to do anything. And these two old ladies, elderly ladies, would not give up on the church. And I find that the prayer commanders are often found there. But that is a declining group in our church. It has to be really, we need prayer commanders. And as you see, it is not complicated. It's not a complicated job to apply for. It is the normal Christian life, but the normal Christian life has become other than this. And last of all, the prayer commander will not accept anything but total victory. The prayer commander will not accept anything but total victory. This is from Romans 8, and the word conqueror in Romans 8 is the Greek word nikeo, which means, it does not mean to win. It means to conquer. It means to beat the enemy, take his land, make it yours, and make him your servants. That's what nikeo means. And the prayer commander has deep in his or her spirituality this conviction that we are not going to lose. One of the interesting things about the Vietnam War was how come a bunch of farmers, farm labourers, and nobodies managed to kick out of its land the nation that has got the biggest military in the history of the world. No one has ever had a military as big as America. And these Vietnamese had virtually nothing. But how come they overcame? It's simple. They believed they would win. They were fighting for their country, and they believed they would. Because I talked to a few of them, and I studied them. We are going to win. And no matter the Americans send their B-52s with 10,000 tons bombs and missiles, cruise missiles and napalm and all that, they could not win, because in the heart of the Vietnamese was this conviction to win. Now, hallelujah, that's all behind us, and Vietnam and America get on very well. And if you want to look up Vietnamese veterans, you'll see that the veterans of Vietnam and America have met together. So we moved on. So I'm not throwing bricks at any of them, but what won for the Vietnamese was this. And the prayer commander will not accept anything less than that. And you might fall. You might well fall. And you need to take a lesson from the Romans. They had these big shields, imagine a door, but curved. And the first line of the troops would stand so close together that all you saw coming at you was this wall of wood. If any of those individual soldiers was killed, somebody from behind stepped into the gap, so the wall remained complete. And prayer commanders know that even if they fall, others will step in. We are going to conquer. The enemy is not going to conquer. We're going to conquer because we're disciplined and we're trained soldiers of the cross, determined to endure, and we are going to win. Now, I want to encourage you tonight. Not a lot of us tonight, but people will catch up after us. But frankly, catch up is just nothing compared to, this is live. I'm sitting here now in Ghana at 8:30. So Betty and Val, we were on last night, weren't we? What a night we had last night, didn't we? Oh my goodness me. Sandra, Pat, David, I know is there. Paula, have I missed anybody? Let me see. Heather, Sandra, yeah. We're it. We could be this. We could be a prayer commander. And you may say, well, I don't know. Well, what are you waiting for? For me, I have a number of sort of streams in my work. As you know, the prophetic is the main stream, and others. But what I love the most, Betty and whoever else, Val and others, what I loved the most was what we did last night. That's what I loved the most, because there, the prayer commander was leading the way into a stunning revelation which will help us pray for a long time to come. That's what I love the most. I love prayer the most. And the thing is, I can do it till I die. I won't be coming here till I die, but I can pray till I die. So keeping my prayer commander disciplines is important to me. Keeping my prayer commander training is important to me. Keeping all those things important to me because it's the most precious to me to be a prayer commander. And what happens is, 1 minute to go, it's funny, isn't it? What happens is others watch me and copy me. And that is a great privilege. And one lady wrote to me and she said, I see that you win your battles and you help me win mine. So it's good, isn't it? So I encourage you to think about these things in your prayer life and become a prayer commander. Say to the Lord, I will be disciplined. I will be trained. He'll run his own training program, don't worry. I will be a soldier of the cross. I will. I will be determined. I will endure. I will not give up. And I'm never going to accept anything but total victory. Good, eh? Thanks, David, sitting there in Seaford and helping me do all this. I do appreciate it very much indeed. And we do. We all appreciate what you do for us. Without you, we couldn't be here tonight. So, hallelujah. Thanks, everyone. Tomorrow, 9 o'clock, Paul and I are on the New School site to show you what's happening there. Thanks, everybody. God bless.